Taylor Pelletier.
And I'm ASHLYN SCHAEFFER. Welcome to this episode of Colts Connection, your source for EJHS news.
Mr. Stevens and Miss Musselman are both in their second year of teaching at Edgewood. Here are some of their thoughts about becoming EJHS Colts.
COVID has affected everyone, especially teachers. Teachers' teaching styles have changed, the teachers themselves have changed, and so have the students. We spoke to 3 teachers, Mrs. Erickson, Mr. Stevens, and Miss Musselman. All are new returning teachers. We sat down with them to discuss the matter of COVID. Miss Musselman started teaching at Edgewood at the beginning of COVID and had to adjust in many ways. We asked her about the struggles she faced and how she dealt with them.
I'll say I didn't have really much experience at another school before COVID. I had only worked at one other school, so coming here and working was just kind of what my normal was.
Mr. Stevens, the 7th grade math and geometry teacher, started teaching at Edgewood during the 2020 to 2021 school year. We asked him to tell us about how it's been different than previous years. We also interviewed him about the changes on the course.
You know, when you move to a new school district, there's always new procedures that you have to learn and kind of build into your routine and get used to. And I moved a couple of times during my career so far, but when you add in all the COVID protocols, the safety measures that the school has implemented, it's just a lot more things to keep in mind. You know, your workload goes up when you're worried about keeping kids' masks on. You're worried about your own mask. You're worried about spraying the desks and sanitizing the room, trying to keep kids social distance.
Mrs. Erickson, the 10th grade science and bio teacher, recently came back to Edgewood after graduating from grad school. We interviewed her about her experiences of the 2020 to 2021 school year and how COVID has affected her teaching.
It was difficult to adjust coming back to school, especially since it was sort of at the height of COVID. And I think that there were so many schedule changes. It was nothing like what it was before I went to grad school. So yeah, it was pretty difficult.
For some students, they aren't able to pay for their lunch, but Edgewood is different. The first meal for both breakfast and lunch is free for all students.
Did you know that 75% of students at Edgewood buy school lunches on a day-to-day basis? We talked to some students and staff and found out what their favorite lunch was.
My favorite school lunch is beanies and weenies.
Probably salad. Probably Bosco sticks. But I like the salads a lot.
Salisbury steak. It always has been and probably always will be.
We talked to the Nutrition Service Director, Vicki Coffey, and learned some interesting facts.
We currently purchase from B&B Foods, which is a vendor out of Terre Haute. We have purchased from Gordon Foods, which is a vendor out of Louisville, Kentucky. And then we also have vendors coming from Indianapolis, Piazza Produce. Prairie Farms is an Indiana company as well. That's where our milk is from, and Klosterman's Baking is where our bread is from.
Many people in the Ellettsville community have struggled to provide food for their families, and the RBB schools have thrived to help those in need.
The food truck was purchased because we felt like we needed to take the food to kids that need it. So we wanted to reach as many kids as we could, including our working parents that work, you know, both parents work or work 2 jobs, whatever it might be. And so we wanted it more community driven and so that we can make it more fun.
For more information about the school lunch, check the lunch menu on the Edgewood School website.
Feeding kids, and my passion is just that, to feed kids good, healthy, nutritious filling meals. So.
This is Maddie Porter with Colts Connections signing off.
Edge Media, the media production program that produces this show, was created this year. The students came up with the logo, the name, and used the creativity to make video projects used in the school and in the community. Brinley Kiefer will give us a sneak peek into this new opportunity for Edgewood Colts.
The staff at EJHS were able to connect with the students and what we are interested in and create a program that the students will enjoy.
This is an opportunity for them to learn how to use it and become really responsible and creative content creators in really unique and fascinating ways. And we also know that from a career connection standpoint, the community is really interested in students developing these skills.
What we're doing will help me with job opportunities because you never know when you're going to need to film something. So the filming process of this is good experience for that. You never know if you're going to need to ask people questions officially. And you also never know if you need to write a script or something. So all these stuff that we're learning in this class will help in different scenarios and different reasons.
Edge Media is helping kids learn how to make and edit videos.
I think it could affect the students by they can learn life skills. They can, lots of jobs nowadays require computer skills of some sort, and editing, cutting, filming, interviewing, filming B-roll, all that stuff is going to help the students in their life. I think it's impacted me by, I like hanging out with my friends, and I think it's just really fun to interview people and just find out what their story was.
Edge Media is giving children opportunities to show what they can do.
One of my biggest goals as the instructor in this program is to give students truly authentic learning experiences where they're creating things for real audiences that real people value and need, that go beyond just a class assignment, where you're only turning it in for the teacher to look at and grade, but where our work really means something beyond the walls of our classroom. I think that's always my biggest goal.
This is Brinley Kiefer reporting for Edge Media.
COVID has affected our school for about 2 years now and is still going on. It has affected everyone in the community. Let's take a look.
Did you know that COVID can remain in the body at low levels for up to 3 months after diagnosis? This can affect many people, including teachers, staff members, and students. Let's take a look at how it affected some of our teachers.
I definitely never had to spray down tables. So that definitely was something that was new, having to sort of maintain just a high level of cleanliness in the classroom. And I guess I would also say I used to have my desks in groups because I like to do a lot of group work, and that was something that had to be minimized because of COVID.
Thank you, Mrs. Erickson. Now moving on to Mr. Rager on how the beginning of COVID went.
From March until the end of the school year, we taught from home, and it was hard to reach some students because they just kind of disappeared, and other students were very responsible, so I had to reach out to those students that were not showing up and try to get them to understand what they needed to learn.
That's it for today. Taylor Pelletier signing off. Basketball is a common sport, and while many other schools have it too, see our own take on it.
EJHS basketball is starting their season off with some big accomplishments. The boys basketball team has had a lot of growth in the first couple of games, and the girls are soon to start. Here are some more about their season so far. The teams have had trouble due to COVID. It has affected many student athletes' playing time and schedules. Here are some perspectives for them.
COVID definitely affected how our games were last year because we only got to play 4 instead of the 10 or the 12.
It's difficult trying to interact with kids when they can't see my face. And for portions of last year where we couldn't physically bump or high five and things like that.
The coaches have worked really hard to set the players' goals and get them where they need to be. Their main job is to correct and teach players.
Every single day, our goal is to have these 8th grade players ready for high school basketball next year and that next level of basketball.
I would like to see our team win the WIC tournament.
The team has made many memories together and gotten closer as the season goes on.
My favorite memory is probably when I scored 18 against Owen Valley last year.
My favorite memory of basketball is playing with the 6th grade team. That was like the most fun thing I've ever done.
Last year, both teams had a great season. There were some struggles, but the teams ended their season on a great note. Players hope to learn and grow even more.
You know, that's all coaching is trying to get your kids to just get a little bit better than they were before.
Many of our players have been in the game of basketball for as long as they remember. Most of them, basketball is their main sport, and they live by it.
No, just basketball has been a big part of my life.
Many that do that, and I just enjoy the camaraderie. I enjoy spending a lot of time with a certain group of players and coaches, and it really lets you share some fun moments together.
And now signing off, Libby from Colts Connections.
I'm ASHLYN SCHAEFFER. And I'm Taylor Pelletier. See you next time on Colts Connection.